All right, are we recording? Test. Nice. All right. Let me get settled here. Let me pick a spot. Get comfortable. I'm actually waiting because today's going to be kind of a busy day, exciting day, but I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to be disappointed. But I can't help it. I can't contain my excitement. You know, I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to get too hyped because I come down hard if I am disappointed. But anyway, the thing that I'm excited about and trying not to be excited about, but secretly inside very excited, is we're going to look at houses today. So we're trying to get pre-qualified again, and being self-employed for all of you guys who are, going to be self-employed or trying to make the transition to being, full-time photographers or whatever. There's quite a bit of Fruit Loops to jump through when you're self-employed and you want to, buy a house or get a loan or something like this. And it gets very difficult and it's very frustrating. So we've been slowly educating ourselves, and husband's on the phone right now talking to another lender who could possibly help us self-employed folk. Anyway, back again here on the golden hour. It is currently 9:18 a.m. May. What's today? Goodness. What is today? Somebody tell me. May 3rd. Thank you, iPad. So, May 3rd, beautiful Wednesday morning. Perfect day to go look at some houses. I'm very excited about that. Get that thing rolling. We're reaching our limit. Here on the golden hour, I am your host, Meg Levu, and I try to just give you guys some straight up advice about photography and running photography business. If you're just joining us, this is the 3rd episode. These are long and loose, inspired from many a content creator out there. I don't like to make these things too structured because if I think about it too hard, I'm going to stress out, and that's kind of the last thing I need. And, we're running basically 3 businesses over here, all photography related and or video related. And so, I don't want to get stressed out too much by still wanting to provide you guys with great content. So what I'm going to try to do throughout these episodes is just have a kind of semi, conversation, even though it's kind of one-sided. I'm going to take all relevant, poignant, good questions from you guys, or situations, and just try to shed my spin on it. It is not law. They are suggestions. Take them as you will. Take them as a means of opening a door to your mind so you can get creative and solve the problems that you have. That's kind of how I look at podcasts or consuming content in general. I used to, before, really take it as law because I was naive and it was just like, I have no answers, so please give me some answers. And I would hear something online, or I'd read something online, or I'd talk to somebody, even in person, and I'd get this idea in my head and I would make it would be like law. And how I think you guys should kind of consume and use the information that you get here on the golden hour, or anywhere else for that matter, is, you take what works for you. Okay, give it a fair shake, give it a good try. Put some real effort and time into the things that you want to change, or new methods or new ideas, and test them. And if they work for you, great. And if they don't, move on. Don't hold any personal, agendas if it doesn't work out for you. That's just what it is. Kind of look at it like a diet. Kevin and I are actually going through a little bit of figuring out what should we eat to still be happy, but still be healthy. Happy and healthy most of the time didn't go hand in hand together for us. And so we've been looking at a lot of diets, intermittent fasting, slow carb diet, all these things. And we're trying to find the balance, and him being a man, me being a woman, there are those constituents as well that make it a little bit, not one size fits all. Okay. So there are a lot of diets out there. There's a lot of advice out there, like this podcast. Take what you will from it, make it work for yourself, adjust it, test it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's just a bit of housekeeping in the front end. Another thing I wanted to kind of get into in the third episode, because the first episode we talked about kind of essentials. If you haven't checked that out, I think his name was Charles. He said I had limited resources. I made a question out of that, or I made a little situation out of that and shared what I would get if I had limited resources, limited cash flow. That way I could still drum up good business for myself and continue to invest in myself as a business and in my equipment. Okay. So check that episode out. And it's episodes 1 and 2, and I put them together in one because why? It's called the golden hour, not the golden 30 minutes. So I said, okay, let me just record another 30 minutes. Now it's the golden hour, not the golden 30 minutes. You guys know about this. All right. What I want to segue into after episodes 1 and 2 in number 3 is, I think before we start, talking about business, which we will, and we will start talking because I have a very good question from a member of the group. His name is Jeremy Figueredo. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Figueredo. So we'll answer that towards the end of this show. Not towards the end, but like after I talk about this first thing, I think most of you guys sometimes are missing, and I miss this too. And that is awareness. Okay, awareness, and you can put all kinds of names on this. This damn dog over here, man, is fucking annoying. Is he gonna keep barking the whole fucking time? Okay, you know what? I gotta move this operation because I don't want to be in a stressful state of mind when I try to give some straight up advice, because then you're just going to hear a lot of cursing and no advice. Okay. Oh my God, I can't escape it. It's in the next room too. What should I do? Go to the other room. Okay. You see, when we move, I'm not going to have to deal with this bullshit. Hey, stay there. Talk to my dog. Got to move over here. Got to move to the master bedroom. Quietly. Okay. Close the door. Okay. All right. I don't hear any barking. I think we're in the clear. Okay. So I was talking about awareness, right? And this will relate to almost everybody here in the group. The awareness to ask or wonder if you're good enough, right? If your work is good enough. And nobody's work is really good enough when they first start. And when we say good enough, it's like, good enough for who, That depends. Good enough for yourself? That's really the good enough to make money. That's basically the only good enough that you need to check the box on. Good enough to make money. That's what I say. There's a lot of other things like, are you ethically sound in running your business? Are you fulfilling a sort of checkbox for yourself as an artist? Those things can indeed come first or second in your own book. But basically, I mean, when we're talking business, we're talking numbers, because you cannot quantify how you feel as an artist and what you put out. So I'm not going to speak to you on that sense. I'm just going to speak to you on the numbers, because that's really all that matters when you're trying to provide for yourself with photography as a means of doing that. Okay. So are you good enough to make money? Are you good enough to make money with it? That's really all that matters. Okay. So it's that awareness first. And with that being said, it's like, well, okay, if I only have to be good enough to make money, what does that look like? So what I would do, to kind of figure that out is, before taking a picture and posting it out there and saying, is this good enough to the world? That you can definitely do that. But why not accelerate the time between you putting work out and making money from that work by doing a little bit of market research? Okay. And now this word or this phrase sounds probably a little intimidating. Market research. Oh my God. It's freaking, go Google some shit. Go on Instagram, hashtag the type of photography that you want to emulate. Okay. Because all artists steal. And you should be looking at what's already out there. Okay. I don't think you can really nowadays be a photographer with blinders on. Okay. Can you do it? Yeah. Yeah, you could do it. And there's just so many like if this then that, but you know, to be smart and to kind of be responsible about the content that you are going to put out there, go ahead and look. Go to Instagram, go to Pinterest and see what is the trend, what is the style that people are buying basically. Where's the money? Yeah, right. Where's the money at? So is the money in, uncomposed, blurry photos that are black and white with a dash of red in the rose? Probably not. You look at the high-end photographers, high-end photography, a magazine is the closest thing to that, or just go Google Vogue or Google something like this, and then kind of trickle reverse engineer what that would look like coming from you. Granted that you don't have all the equipment and all the things and all of this and that. I talked about theory and style in the last 2 episodes. You'd want to check that out, and how that would translate from big advertising and photography and big bucks like this, and how that theory is used there, and bringing it back to little old you, little old me, and how to make that work in the pose, in the composition of the photo, and then throughout the rest of your portfolio. So bringing that awareness of, hey, I'm new, I know, and being humble enough to say, I know I don't know everything, and I have a lot to learn. What's out there, who's doing what, who's making money where, why are they making money that way with this type of photography, and kind of figuring it out and thinking critically. Okay. This is looking at a picture, looking at a collection of photos, a portfolio, a photographer specifically that you found on, say, Instagram, and saying, all right, I see their style. I see what they're going for. I see that they're, maybe you dig a little deeper and you learn a little bit about their life, because everybody's got a Facebook, and everybody's got their life online now. So you can see and emulate and model somebody that you would, want to be like. If you're a 9-to-5er, you love photography, but you never really did anything with it, and you see somebody who's a photographer full time, and they're doing exactly what you want to do. Market research just means literally like Facebook stalking them for a little bit, stalking them on their Instagram, seeing how they do it. At least from an outsider's point of view, looking at their collection and bringing some awareness to yourself about your craft, about your images, comparing your images or your collection to their collection. And it doesn't have to match to say be successful, but you want to see and analyze the difference, right? Like, this is an image that people are paying for, hypothetically, right? So this person that you're looking at, and here's my image over here. What am I missing to whereas I cannot charge maybe the same amount or live the same kind of lifestyle that this other person is living? You know what I'm saying? So there are a number of things that you can do before you even pick up a camera, before you even buy a website, before you even do this and that, because you've done the research, you've picked up and developed some awareness about yourself and what you're getting yourself into. I think I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I was just following a mentor, which was my then boyfriend, now husband, and he followed somebody else. And so that's the more direct correlation is, I talked about mentorship in the past, and that's like the easiest way to go and figure out and bring some awareness to yourself. But I think being very conscious about it, saying, I'm going to be aware, or I'm going to bring awareness, or do some research, or learn about this industry that I want to get into and be successful at. You got to know it. You got to know your industry that you're getting into. You're not going to know everything, but you at least need to give a really good try, do everything that you could do before even trying to waste your time putting up images and just shooting in the dark, basically. Okay. So if you're listening to this podcast, that's already a great way to increase your awareness and do that market research, because you're going outside of yourself, because the normal person is just going to take a photo, put it up, and say, what do you think? Right? That's kind of the lazy, easiest way for feedback. And that might have worked like years and years and years ago. But it's a different time. Everybody's putting up photos. So you're just getting lost in regular people posting photos. Okay. So there has to be a real conscious effort of awareness and time taken and a little bit of thought. A lot of thought when you step into this world, when you step into any world, okay? This is just stuff that you don't think about when you're young, all right? I'm speaking to you after 9-10 years of just jumping into things and being like, I don't work out, or you don't even think about that. You just like, let's do it. And that's a great attitude to have, to just jump into things. Don't get me wrong. But if you're listening to this podcast, obviously you've seen beyond that little shallow need to just jump into things. You've actually considered doing photography as your career, right? As a means of really making this your full-time thing. That's what it takes, guys. It's a very conscious decision that you make with yourself. And we had the same sort of decision making, and it comes sort of in waves, because especially if you have other things going on, or you have other opportunities that may seem safer, it always beckons to you. I could easily turn my brain off and follow what my father has always done, or follow what my family has always done. I could easily turn my brain off and go to school, get the degree, do all the things, just follow the checklist, and check in, check out, and go home. And I don't have to bring my work home with me, and I don't have to figure out what it means to actually run a business, to do the work, and then to do the other stuff, like managing clients, or managing your equipment, or getting insurance for yourself, or all these other little minutia things that you don't think about, that just sort of tack on as you get deeper and deeper into the industry. And I think the more that you can prepare yourself by doing a little bit of market research and building awareness about this, the less of a stress that you're going to run into. Stress is inevitable, but at least if you know it's coming, different things are coming in the journey of becoming a photographer, the less stressed out you'll be, the less surprised, and maybe you'll be prepared financially for it as well, for all the things that it seemingly needs to require of you to run a business and maintain it. Okay, so awareness. Okay, awareness is a big one. Building that awareness of, am I good enough to make money? Okay, check. I think I'm good enough to make money. So maybe you've made it to that point. Sweet. Now we talk about essentials. We talked about gear last time, that also too is supposed to be something that you research. What's the gear that people are using? What's the industry standard, right? In that field. So as far as like weddings, I'll let you guys know it's a Canon 5D Mark IV. That is industry standard. Everybody has this camera now. If you're rolling with a cheaper end, or not on the cheaper end, but if you're still rolling with a Mark III, that's still very good enough. If you're still rolling with a Mark II, it's probably about time for you to upgrade if you have the means to do so. I guarantee you're going to have a higher quality picture. Obviously, but you're going to have an easier time just taking pictures. The way that the camera responds and the focus that it has. Lenses, I feel at least it's got to be as wide as 2.8. That way you're really being able to maximize on those depth of field shots that everybody wants. Okay, that's something that you would also discover in your market research. A lot of people, I'm not going to say a ton, but a ton of people understand that the blurry background thing, they always tell me this, potential clients, ooh, can you do the, blurry background thing? Yeah, no problem, okay? Our lenses are, allow us to do that, no problem. When you do the blurry background thing, it's like you ascend to another level. You're like, oh, wow, you got the good stuff, okay? That's something that you should also take note of as well. So, that can usually only be done with, low light cameras, things that can do well in low light, wide open lenses that you're going to get with the apertures of, 3.5 and wider. So, yes, there are ways around that if you want to get technical with it. And I'm not about to get technical with you. That's not why I'm here. I'm about the big picture, okay? So if you get hung up on those details, I'm just going to move past them. So, awareness, okay? As we move on, I think it's time to get down with, what's your name again? Jeremy's question. So this comes from Jeremy Figueredo, from the group. And I was just astounded because, let me just read it to you, okay? Hey, Meg, I currently charge $12 for my shoots. When would be a good time to raise my pricing? And is $12 too little to charge clients? Also, how do I market myself in person and on social media to bring in more paying clients? Lots of questions. Great questions. Surprisingly, my gosh, I responded, oh my gosh, raise your prices right now. I don't even know you. I don't even know what you take. Raise it. $12. Yeah, that's quite very little. Are you taking these shoots with an iPhone? Like, I just wondered why 12? Why 12 in the first place? It's like you might as well offer it for free. Maybe are these shoots for people who really cannot afford? Is it like a program? Here's the thing, okay? Here's my background. What I'm looking at. $12 a shoot. Is it a promotion? Okay. Are you feeling so maybe not proud or confident or insecure about your work that you have to charge that much? Or did somebody tell you that you have to charge $12? You can charge $12, okay? Charge $12 all you want. I don't care. But if you want to make a living with it and if you want to be taken seriously, $12 is nothing. You're going to attract, obviously, a lower end paying client. And obviously, most photographers want to live off of their work. So that's really not going to cut it, is it? So when we talk about pricing, you can charge anything you like. Okay, really anything you like. And if somebody buys it, then that's how much it is worth. And period. Okay, so for example, if I charge $12 for a headshot, then my work is worth $12. Now, what do you think that means to you? Right? If you hear about a person or a celebrity, their net worth is worth, something $1 million. They're valued at a higher rate, right? So we want to sort of instill, do a little trickle down mentality to ourselves, the regular folk. Um, and how we do that is we look at our expenses. You know, if I'm going to speak to you about numbers and take out the pride of being a photographer or being an artist, or how do you value yourself? How can you really put a number on that? Okay, so let's take that out of the equation. Let's look at this in a logical point of view. We're going to look at the numbers. Okay, so if I want to make a living, or at least make a good side income, because maybe I believe that I'm just not that good enough, as most photographers will believe in the beginning. I'm just not that good enough or confident to put $1,000 next to my rate of charge or whatever. Okay, fine, cool. We're just starting out. That's fair. All right, so I'm going to take a look at my expenses. Maybe I've got a side job going on that's really going to be my main moneymaker. Maybe this is you. But I still want to be taken semi-seriously with my photography, and I want to start booking more consistently. Okay, cool. So this is our situation. Well, we got to look at our expenses. We got to look at, okay, am I covered with the amount that I work in my side job, my bridge job? And, if I want to move towards this new goal, I would put it as, well, I have this basic equipment right now for doing my headshots and event shoots and all this kind of stuff. And believe me, you could roll with that, whatever you have right now. I don't even know what it is, but you're doing it and you're charging for it. So obviously you can do something already. You have equipment to where you can do something, but you're going to be investing in more quote unquote serious equipment as you get deeper into the space of photography and actually doing it more full time. So you have this goal. Maybe you want to get this camera, this lens, this light setup, this reflector, this whatever, right? And you're going to put a number amount on that. And so every shoot that you do, you can basically work backwards and have this, monetary goal in mind and say, I need to make this much capital so I can start investing back into my business. And I want to do this at not the slowest rate of all time at $12 a shoot. I want to accelerate that time. And I know that if I charge more, I get there faster. Okay, so just have that ratio in your mind. And so, however, if you want it faster than at the rate that it's going now, you're going to have to charge more. And at the same time, as you charge more, you're going to have to get more skilled. So the only reason why I think that you're charging $12 is that you think you're not good enough. And maybe you're right. I don't know. I haven't seen your portfolio or anything like that. So you have some awareness and you think that your work is not good enough to charge more than $12. So get out there, research, get better, practice, do shoots for free. Like my shooters here that I train, I'm like, one of them said to me, I was out training one of my shooters, and let me tell you this story. I was out training one of my shooters, and then, we had just finished a little portrait session, and there was a little boy that we didn't see before. He had joined the group, and I said, "Oh, who's this little boy?" "Oh, I don't know. Well, he's got a flower on. He's all dressed up. Go shoot him." And go do it. And the response that I got was a little like, not enthusiastic. And I said, This is your job. This is your first job. Go do it. Let's see. I want to see you. Pressure's on. Go." And they're like, "Yeah, it's my first job. I'm not even getting paid for it." And then I said, at first my ears were on fire. And I said, "Okay, well, do it anyway. This is your practice. You need it." Okay, went and go shoot it. Okay, good. Did a good job. And then came back. The pictures were good enough, decent. And I said to the shooter, I said, "Even though you're not getting paid, you're investing in yourself. By the way, I'm always evaluating you, what you say, what comes out of your mouth. So watch it." Basically, I didn't say it like that, but I mean, I evoked that tone. Um, yeah, go do it for free. Go fucking shoot. Go practice. You need it. You have to build this awareness that you're not good enough after just a couple of shoots. Okay, so build that awareness. Work on your craft. Another thing, after you have figured out this kind of monetary goal, now you can kind of work backwards and we'll be like, well, if say it's like something like $5,000 or something, maybe it's 10 grand. Let's just make it 10 grand. Okay. 10 grand. I can get there if I charge, each event $1,000, right? And maybe within each of those events, I can break that even down even more and charge, $200 for every 5 headshots or something, right? So I think that's pretty reasonable. So for a headshot, because we charge about $350 per headshot, and that's a 30-minute session where we can get it down. Our shooters can get it down, and this is a whole studio light setup, pro photo lights, and all this stuff, all the fancy stuff. So we feel that $350 is good, and you get a really good headshot out of that. So charging anywhere above and under that, I think is a really good place to be. So $200 per headshot, I think that's really good. If you feel that you're not good enough for that, you can adjust that. You can adjust it however you like. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it, and perhaps you could, tailor your prices. Okay. As far as when to raise your prices, you can raise them today, right now. Nobody's stopping you. How we do it over here, we sort of gauge how our past clients have responded to the prices. And basically, there you get to a point to where you've built up a brand for yourself. And you can charge really, what's going to sustain you. So our company, we actually charge under than a lot of our friends. And that is because that's just the way Kevin likes to work. And I think this will change because he always wants to work constantly. He always wants to be shooting. It's really not for him about, yes, it is about making a dollar amount. But we don't cap ourselves off at, say, 20 weddings or something like this just because we hit our number. He likes to be shooting all the time because as an artist, it pushes him to always be using the camera. Every single week, he's using the camera. He feels that, say if we go on vacation for 2 weeks, he feels antsy, like he starts to lose his skills, and it makes him feel a little bit fearful, like I'm not being creative, I'm not creating my art. And so he's tailored the business to that we're always shooting, or he's always shooting. We always have something going on, photography related, whether it's weddings or commercial or whatever. And that's just the way that he does it. Okay. So when you, in terms of raising your price, it can be really any time. It could be a figure that it just satisfies your goal. That's going to keep you fed and in shelter for the year, right? 20 gigs, 10 gigs, 30 gigs. And then you just do the math. You just work it out. Okay, if I need, I don't know, 50 grand, say that, I think that's like the least, the minimum to really kind of live and survive out here in California, Southern California, like 50 grand a year, to live kind of, good, decently, 50 grand a year. That means you can do a number of variations with that number. That could be 10 weddings, right? That could be 20 weddings. That could be 30 weddings. You just do the math, right? So don't ask me. I'm not a math person, but that's basically how you would do it, okay? So you have this figure, a yearly figure, what's going to support you, and you just break that down by number. And then you can go, okay, logistically, now you can really, when you go to the client and you have your prices, you can believe in those numbers, because it's like, yeah, look, this is what it takes for me to like survive and live. This is what it takes for me to work on my craft, keep perfecting my stuff, and provide you with the best equipment, maintain all my equipment, maintain my memory cards, maintain my computer. And that's why the price is what it is, right? So now you have a theory, you have a means of why you're charging this price. So if you ever had some sort of unconfidence about charging more than $12, you just need to break it down for yourself and justify, yeah, this is what it takes. I'm an artist. I'm a working artist, and I'm always working on my craft, and I have equipment to maintain. I have to feed myself, and so that's where you would start logistically, just on a numbers scale, with your pricing. Okay. And yeah, definitely 12 is just too little, man. I'm still so curious. I'm going to ask you again in the comments why you chose $12. Like, could have been 10, could have been 20. But I'll show you this other story. Okay. As far as, if you're trying to just get attention for your work, then fine. Hey, that works. Right. And good on you for just putting a number out there. Some people don't even want to do that. They just want to shoot for free, and they never even want to put a number to their work. And that shows a lot of I think deficiencies in your confidence if you don't even want to put a number to your name. And that is not like, it's not the most heinous thing, because I've dealt with that. Kevin's dealt with that, my husband. We know a number of friends who are like that, who just are so reluctant to put numbers into the equation. Why? Because they're artists. We're artists, We don't want to think about the numbers. Believe me, I don't want to think about numbers. I just told you guys I'm not a math person, right? I couldn't even do that math in my head right now, honestly. Give me shapes. Give me images. Give me a pencil. Give me a camera. Give me a video camera. That's what I want to do. Don't give me numbers. However, we cannot escape numbers. I'll tell you this right now. Okay. And so the more that you can get comfortable with the numbers of your business, okay, that's how you become a full-time photographer. That's how you become a working artist, not a starving artist. Fuck that. Who wants to starve? I don't. I'm starving right now. God, I'm hungry. Okay. So that's how I would work the pricing. Okay, there's a number of ways to present your pricing, which I'm going to get to perhaps in a later episode. We're rolling up on 40 minutes here. Let me see if I answered all your questions. Oh, I totally missed this one. Also, how do you market yourself in person and on social media to bring in more paying clients? Okay, so let's move on. You got the gig. You booked it for more than $12. Awesome. Great job, Jeremy. Okay, so now you're actually shooting the person, right? You guys set up a date. You met at a place. You're ready to go. Memory cards are nice and formatted. Batteries are charged. Lenses are clean. Client shows up on time. Oh, yes, everything's going well. Weather's good too, right? All right, cool. So how do you conduct yourself? All right. The first thing that I would do, all right, these are basics, okay? Hygiene and dress, which some people would miss. All right, I'm surprised. Our other commercial photography company, some shooters that we interviewed or maybe thought about, hey, come join the team, come shoot for us. Hygiene was not in check, man. Like, comb your damn hair. All right. I don't know why we got to tell you things like this. But I'm going to say it just because, let's just go there. All right. Comb your damn hair, take a shower, put on deodorant, wear clean clothes. God, I feel like a mom. That's scary. Okay. All the things, brush your teeth, all the things, pop in some gum. If you still have morning breath, if you still have coffee breath, okay? Pop in some gum. You're dealing with the client for the first time. You want to make an impression. Another thing, before the client even speaks to you, they see you, right? So what are you wearing? Are you dressed well? What we wear when we're on our commercial shoots, we have a uniform. So that takes away all, misconceptions or miscommunications about what to wear when we're shooting. So we have a uniform. But I think for your case, Jeremy, it's just dressing nice, business casual, comfortable shoes that aren't ratty. They're not tennis shoes. Okay. There's a lot of great looking shoes out there that are not tennis shoes. They're not like super athletic shoes. But they look good still, right? You could still dress it up a little bit. I talked about style in the last episode. Have a little bit of style. Have a little bit of style, especially doing headshots, right? So you understand and know what looks good. You have an idea, at least, all right? You don't need to be a fashion guru, but at least know how to dress, wear fitted clothes. Gosh. And also recommend to your clients to wear fitted clothes, because a lot of guys don't know this too, and that's astounding to me, but it's okay. Wear fitted clothes. When I mean fitted, I don't mean like baggy pants, baggy shirt, tuck in the shirt. Look professional. And you know what? This is a testament to how powerful this is, because long time ago, right, when we were 20, 22, 23, meeting with clients, Kevin and I, we would always dress up for the meeting, like dress up, okay? Like blazer and everything, all right? Dress up, because we're so young. So how are we going to attract clients that are going to pay us, more than $12, thousands of dollars, right? We're still charging at least $1,200 back in the day. At least I think $1,200 back in the day, okay? For like an 8-hour wedding. Actually, no, I think it was it was such a long wedding. It was such a long time ago. But anyway, we're charging at least $1,000. All right. I don't know the numbers exactly, but, the feedback that we got was that I'm pretty loose, right? You guys hear me on the podcast curse a little bit. I'm a little bit, rough around the edges. I'm a different person when you meet me in a consultation. Okay, I'm not like this. I'm very prim. I'm very proper. I'm socially aware. I know how to carry myself in front of a potential client. I'm on professional mode. I'm on service Megan mode, right? I'm on professional photographer mode. Okay, so it's not like you have to be this way 24/7, but you understand and know what a professional environment is. It's just like a job interview. You're going to be professional. You're going to be friendly. You're going to be knowledgeable. You're going to be reassuring. You're going to want to invoke a lot of trust with your client, because this is the first interaction and you want it to be good, And if anything, you want it to be excellent, outstanding, awesome, wonderful, fabulous, right? You want to do you want them to say all these things about you after you have left and done the job. All right. So that in-person marketing, which is all of the conscious and unconscious things that you are saying to the client, okay? How you carry yourself, how you talk about your experience. Okay, here's another thing. If you say you're new in the industry, I just started 1 month ago. What do you think that says or sounds like to the client? Shit, did I just hire somebody who's super inexperienced, who's basically practicing on my headshots that I paid $200 for? All right, you don't ever want a client to feel that way. White lie it up, okay? Because we want to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. You want to give yourself a good position in which to get more business later, right? So give them the old 2 years. And maybe you haven't really been shooting 2 years, but maybe you've been working so hard on your craft, practicing, researching, doing the work, thinking critically, being conscious about how you look, being conscious about how you address and serve the client, coach the client, all these things you've been working on in say less than a month. So it's not really lying. That's why I say white lie, right? It's kind of lying, but you're padding the truth a little bit. You're just wanting to assure the client, hey, I've got you. I'm going to create something great for you. Okay. They don't have to know that you only have X amount of months experience or weeks or whatever the heck it is that is maybe not as impressive as 2 years, 3 years, 9 years, whatever, 20 years. Okay. So it doesn't matter really how many years you have behind you. It's, can you do the job and can you do it well? Okay. So that's how I would handle the in-person. You're in the service business. Okay. So it's very much, if you've ever been a waiter, that's service industry, right? If you've ever been an event coordinator, or any service industry types, they understand this different level of work. Okay. Not like a mechanic who just like works on your car or something and they never see customers. You know what I'm saying? It's customer service. So that's what it is. It's you don't have to be fake. You can still input your personality into how you do business. That's all how you want to do that. But professionalism is still very, very valued. Even in this stage, we are lightning responsive on our email response, correspondence back and forth. That way, clients always feel like we're just an earshot away. And that's what you want them to feel. They want to feel taken care of. Everybody wants to feel taken care of in any industry. They want to feel important. They want to feel special. You need to evoke that with your clients. And the more that you can do that, the more that they're going to think about that later on and perhaps refer you to their friends. That friend refers you to their friends, and so on and so forth. And maybe 20 years down the line, you're still having clients being referred. Okay. So that's the power of that first in-person engagement, or gig with a client. Okay. And then on social media, it should match. It should kind of match. If people see you first on social or they meet you first in person, those two entities, because they can be very different people, the person that you present on social media and the person that you present in person, they can be very different. They can be similar, but you really want to try to make sure that those personas match. For example, okay, if you're trying to run a professional photography company, but then I go to your Facebook and then I see pictures of you drinking, throwing up, flashing somebody, all these like inappropriate stuff. Okay. That persona, that's going to raise a lot of red flags in my book, and it's going to really make you untrustworthy. I'm like, ooh, this guy or girl is shady. I don't want this person. This person's going to throw up all over my images and probably lose them, things like this. So we don't want to give potential clients any means of thinking that we're incompetent or unprofessional. So you want to make sure on social media and that it's public so they can look you up, that you have nothing to hide. Okay, you want to make sure that you are presenting the same self that you are in person, and make sure that it's consistent back and forth between those two mediums of being in person and being on social. Okay, so on social media, to touch on that a little bit more, we're going 48 minutes. Okay, we can roll for another 12. For social media, I think Facebook's a must. And while I've got you on there, let me pull up your Facebook profile, Jeremy. So right away, depending on what industry of photography you're in, this what do you call it? Profile picture. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of allergies this morning. It's okay. It's like G Money, G Hood. I'm looking at it right now. I would prefer, well, it really depends what you're going for and what kind of headshots you're doing here. They're like really street, like kind of urban, which is cool. I dig it. Like the snapbacks. Um, breaking and stuff. Okay, cool. We got a Canon Rebel. Okay, yeah, definitely. So you're working with some basic equipment, which is fine. Um, it's cool. Okay. Looks like you're this image looks like you're in the Philippines or some. I don't know. I just say that because I'm Filipino. Um, okay. So I would clean up the profile a little bit. Um, maybe make it a little bit more adult. Maybe take out some of these drawings. Or if anything, you can make a business page. I wonder how old you are. How old are you? I'm thinking you're young. Okay, so that's my impression. I'm thinking you're very young, and that could work against you. Okay. Now, you don't have to be an old fogey to get hired. I'm not saying that. But before, I didn't finish my story. When Kevin and I, we used to dress up and everything in our meetings, and they would think he's a lot older than he actually was. So that was kind of my point there. Speaking about that, when we used to dress up and everything and speak the way that we spoke, he's super professional. He's very strict about how we appear to the client. He's very much aware about that. And I think that's something that's very powerful. That's not really my style, but I respect that because it works. So I would take from that what you will, trying to emulate professionalism. If that makes you look older, so be it. But it's not really about looking older than you are. It's just about being very professional and communicating that said and unsaid in your body language, in your dress, in the way that you speak to the client. That way they know, hey, this guy is serious. He does look young still, or she does look young still, but it does really look like that they are being professional and they handle themselves well and that they're going to give me a good product. Okay. That's really all that matters. All right. Okay. If you don't have a website yet, Jeremy, I hope that you can get one. Okay, there's a lot of free, what do you call it, solutions out there. Weebly is one of them. Wix is another one. Weebly.com, that's Weeble, or Ly, sorry. Weebly.com, Weebly.com, Weebly. That's free. That's one I use a lot. I actually have an account with them. I think I have like 7 free sites on there. One to like do podcaster headshots and actually take money from them and process money. Then you have to pay more. You have to pay for that service, but you can actually just get your work up and out into the web. That way you can point people to a link that is more professional than just, say, a bunch of pictures on your phone or a bunch of pictures on your iPad or a bunch of pictures on your Facebook profile. Okay. Definitely look into that solution. And then I would love it, Jeremy, if you could upload some of your work there. And because, we're using you on the show, we can even do like an image critique, however, if you want to do that. Okay. So, and really, if you educate yourself and if you apply yourself, you can have this done in less than a day. Okay. It's so easy nowadays. There's really no excuse not to have a collection of your work online. There should be no excuse as to, I don't know how to do it. YouTube it. Okay. Don't be lazy. If you want something, you need to reach up, you need to stand up, you need to ask the questions, you need to figure it out. Don't be lazy. All right. And I say this, not that I'm not lazy. I'm lazy all the time. But I've done this so many times that it's like second nature. So you want to get to that point where it's like, yep, gotta, do the shoot, edit, put it on the website, put it out there. get more paying clients, and do it all over again until I'm charging, $4,000 for each event that I do. Okay. Which is not as far fetched because that's what we do. Okay. Another thing, let me read some more. I'm reading, sorry. Unfortunately, what's that yet? Okay, special events, sometimes weddings. Okay. I wonder, Jeremy, do you really charge $12 a wedding? You don't do that, do you? Don't do that. Just do it for free, man. I mean, really. $12. Is that to cover your parking fee? I also do personal shoots for individuals such as headshots. Okay, cool. So you do a lot of things. Now, I mentioned this. I want you to go back and listen to episodes 1 and 2, because like many photographers, you just get into it. They just want to start, making money. They're experimenting. They're finding out what industry that they like. So that's something that I didn't speak on yesterday. Or on the show, the other episode. So I'll speak on it now. If you are just trying to find what industry, what type of photography tickles your fancy, then yes, by all means, please do that. Okay. But I highly encourage that you don't get stuck. All right. Don't get stuck just because of money, or just because it's easy, or just because this and that. I really want you guys to be conscious about what you want to do, because I hate it when, and this is my experience, I hate it when you've done something for several years and you're like, wait, did I really want this? And if you're asking yourself that, then you didn't. Okay. You didn't. It does take some time to experiment to figure out what type of photography you like. So yes, go do that. Go do all the things. I recommend that in the beginning, you just market the one as the most lucrative so that you can move to your goal faster. You're bringing in more money. Okay. So for example, like weddings are very easy, not easy, but I think they're easier because people are in the mood to spend. They expect that they're going to pay a high price, that they're going to be investing in a photographer. And lately, videography has fallen off so much that, photography is always going to be needed, no matter what year it is, no matter what the economic temperature is like, or what the market is like. People are always getting married, and they're always going to expect that they're going to pay more than $1,000 for their wedding. Okay. Unless it's like a 4-hour thing. Okay, cool. $900. So, that's where the money is. Okay. It's like $40 billion industry or whatever the hell right now. It's probably like 80 now, because that stat was like 7 years ago. So go to where the money is. You can still do all the other things that you want to do on the side, because weddings are what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, basically. So you still have a lot of time to really experiment and play in other fields of photography. So by all means, go do that. But please just market the one where you're getting the most money. That's the most lucrative for you, because then you're going to have more time to do the things that you love and to get to your goals faster, because you have more capital, you have more cash flow, you have more resources. Okay. So, what else? I was on a little rant before, but I didn't eat yet, so I'm running out of fuel, guys. Okay, it's already like 10. Okay, so, yeah, I think I covered everything. Didn't I cover everything? I think I did. I gotta go. 58 minutes. 58 minutes. We're getting close to the golden hour. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you found something useful for you to take in your journey as aspiring photographers. All right. I really appreciate everybody coming into the group. I love it. Jeremy sharing and asking just some legit questions. I encourage more of you guys to do that. That gives me some, fuel to run off. Yeah. So wish us luck. We're going to be heading out into the Chino Hills area. Something surprising, we've been Orange County people for, the whole time that I've been here. So we're going to see. We're just going to see. We're just going to keep level-headed. I'm not going to get too crazy excited. That's going to be so hard, guys. I believe I'll vlog my journey, and I'll share some little pics if I find something cool out there. But thank you so much, Jeremy Figueredo. Here's your homework. Listen to this podcast twice. Listen to it twice, okay? I promise you, once you get used to kind of listening to podcasts and listening to long format stuff like this, you're going to find it helpful. And if you're serious, you're going to take some of this advice seriously and open your mind to ask other questions and build more awareness and get better at your craft and all the things, all right? So, good things. This is Meg Levu signing off here on the Golden Hour. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you in the next episode. Later.